Hey, I'm Victor.
And I'm Andrew.
Welcome to Kids Tech. We're starting our first class of LEGO Engineering 1. But before we get started, we've got to cover a few rules that are really important. Our first one, and it's our most important rule, is respect. What do you think I mean by respect, Andrew?
I think respect means to treat others the way you want to be treated. That is showing respect.
But we can show more respect to more than just people. We can show respect to our Legos by not breaking them or crushing them or destroying what someone else is working on. Our next rule is to follow the instructions. Make sure that you do everything that each page says before you move on to the next one. Otherwise, you'll get to the end and something's not built up right or there's pieces missing. And our last rule is to remember to have fun. Sometimes we can get so caught up in what we're trying to build and the laws that we're trying to talk about that we forget what we're building with Legos right now. So remember to have fun. As I mentioned before, this is a LEGO engineering class. In this class, we're going to talk about what engineers and scientists are and what they do. But first, I've got a question for you, because I love questions. Say we're on the edge of a cliff, and in one hand I have a 10-pound rock, and in the other hand I have a 1-pound rock. If I drop them both at the same time, which one will hit the ground first? What do you think, Andrew?
Well, I think the heavier rock will land first, because it's heavier and it'll fall faster.
Well, even though we don't have a cliff or rocks with us on hand, is there something we can use with what we do have on hand to experiment with?
I know.
Oh. Well, I guess this will work. I will hold them out in each hand and drop them like this. But I need a drum roll, please. Andrew, can I have a drum roll? So which one hit the ground first?
Well, obviously the tire, the heavier object. Duh.
But do you think this proves without a shadow of a doubt that the tire will always hit the ground first? Do you think this was a really accurate experiment? What about you? You guys think? What about you? I see someone not satisfied.
Yes, Mr. Victor, it looked like the paper kind of just floated down.
You're right. You're absolutely right. The paper just kind of drifted down on the wind, slowing it down a bunch. So what if I crumple the paper up and we try the experiment like this?
I still think the tire hit the ground first.
Well, okay, Andrew. What would you do differently?
I just realized that we didn't give enough time to see that if the tire hit the ground first before the paper. So, if we want to see that the tire hit the ground first, we have to drop it from a higher distance.
Okay, that's a good idea to try and experiment a couple of times. Make sure you're getting the right results. Why don't you grab a chair and we'll try it out. What do you think, Andrew?
Well, I was not expecting that. Why did they land at the same time?
Well, it's because of something called constant acceleration due to gravity, which basically just means that any and all objects dropped on Earth will hit the ground at the same time if they're dropped from the same height. Weight doesn't matter. If I fell at the same time that Andrew fell, we would both hit the ground at the same time. It's one of the natural laws of our world. And that's what we'll be doing in these classes, is studying a lot of those laws and designing Legos based off of those laws. That's what engineers do. They use what they know about the rules the universe follows to design lots of cool things. Can you think of some cool things that were designed by engineering, Andrew?
Well, my computer, my phone, cars, airplanes, and shuttles.
Space shuttles are a great example because there's lots of different engineers that have to come together just to build a space shuttle. You've got aeronautics engineers, electrical engineers, medical engineers, and they all have to come together to make the engines, the radios inside, and to monitor the people while they're flying. Now go ahead and open up your kit and start working on this lesson's creation. And when you're done, come on back and we'll go over a couple of ideas that we can do with it when you're done.